Hey there, Colin Exelby, Certified Financial Planner here. And if you are a business owner, then this video is for you. I'm about to provide a CliffsNote version of the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, or CARES for short. And this is, I believe, the largest stimulus program in U.S. history. And a lot of it is there to help small business owners weather this storm and survive to the other side. Now, within it is a $349 billion Small Business Administration loan program. Now, you can Google this phrase, and hundreds of articles are already up and written on it, and many of them read like an encyclopedia article. Now, for those of you who are under 30, I've got to explain what an encyclopedia is. It's really similar to Wikipedia, except it was a bunch of books that were arranged alphabetically that had different topics in it. But either way, it read like that, and so I know that a heck of a lot of business owners out there are not going to read through it and understand it. I spent half of the weekend when I wasn't smoking ribs with my daughters outside. I spent the rest of the weekend reading up on this stuff to see how it affects my clients. So I thought I would begin sharing some of that with you. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you the nitty-gritty, the short version, what you need to know. So stick around and we'll dive right in. Hey there, Colin Exelby, Certified Financial Planner here, and we are getting into the details of the just released Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, or CARES for short. And this, I believe, is the largest stimulus program in America's history. Now, the Small Business Administration's website has been overrun with traffic over the last few days, and it's been down, I think, probably because they're updating it with this new information. So I want to make sure that we hit the key points of it. So let's dive right in. First, and what most business owners should be knowledgeable about, is the Payroll Protection Program. Now, who is this for? The SBA is offering government-backed loans to business owners with 500 or less employees and also sole proprietorships and 1099 contractors. Now, you must have been in business and in operation on February 15th, 2020 with employees or contractors in order to qualify. And this thing is designed to cover expenses from February 15th through June 30th. The maximum loan size is $10 million. So it is a good amount of capital that business owners can get for their businesses. Now, this provides payroll support for expenses that are including but not limited to salary for yourself and employees, paid sick leave, insurance premiums, healthcare, rent, mortgage, utilities, and interest, but not the principal that you're paying on any other debt. Now, there's one key caveat here that I want to make sure to point out, is that salaried income is eligible only to $100,000. So if you or other employees that you have salaries in excess of $100,000, this is only eligible for the first $100,000. So I think that's a key point for many of us business owners out there. Now, this is extremely important and beneficial for most businesses because these expenses that I just talked about, other than taxes, this is typically your largest cost. So you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of this. Now, if you're a solo entrepreneur and you are your only employee, this also applies to you. So don't think that you're excluded. Now, these loans have the potential to be completely forgiven. And I think that's what has people excited about this program, is you won't have to pay that money back. Now, let me say that again. These loans have the potential to be completely forgiven, meaning you won't have to pay that money back. That means this essentially turns into grants. Now, there are some key points that the government's going to be looking at in order to see if those expenses are going to be forgiven. So, your wage expenses from this year are going to be compared with your wage expenses to last year. And this incentive is to keep employees on staff and working through at least June 30th. And if you do so, your loan could be forgiven. And a key point here is that if it is forgiven, none of that is going to be included in taxable income like it normally would be. So this really amounts to a tax-free gift for the government, incentivizing us to keep employees on staff employed at least through June 30th. Now, what if you can't do that? What if you're forced to have to lay people off, or if you already have? Well, any amount of the loan that is not forgiven, say if you do need to lay people off, it essentially converts into a 10-year loan and a maximum 4% interest rate. Now, that's probably some of the cheapest working capital that you can get. So again, I would recommend you attempt to take advantage of it. Now, here's the issue. These loans are not up and running yet. And they're going to be working round the clock on this to get this thing going, to get the website up and running effectively, and to get money out there to the businesses that applied for it and need it. So it's going to take some time to get there. And what you need to do is make sure your business can stay alive until the funds are made available. So I'd encourage you to head to the SBA website at sba.gov to monitor when these are becoming available, and make sure you check on my blog to stay up to date at seetheforestthroughgetrees.com. Additionally, I found some great resources out there. The multifunding.com company that was started by Ami Kasser, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. That is a great site, as well as Lane Powell. LanePowell.com had some great information up there as well. Now, let's talk about the second opportunity. It's the EIDL, or the Economic Injury Disaster Loans. Now, these have been around for a long time as far as disaster loans, but recently coronavirus was deemed a disaster. So this is not ready as of yet either, and there's not really a lot of information that is available related to it, but it's low-cost working capital up to a maximum of $2 million. I continue to check at the SBA.gov website for updates to that. Now, in addition to these, and the SBA loans, many states have gotten into the act as well, including my home state of Maryland. They're initiating their own programs, so be sure to check with your state for availability. The bottom line is the following. Small businesses make up 99.9% of all businesses, and I'm proud to be one of them. 66% of all net new jobs in the United States in 2018 came from small businesses. Let's make sure that we survive to the other side. Now, cash flow is king. In order to survive, you need to make sure that you're managing your cash well. You want to make sure to maintain access to capital to survive. Now, ideally, credit lines, in my opinion, are a good way to do that. And a rule of thumb that I think that you should have is a credit line that's equal to roughly 10% of your top line sales, or 50% of your inventory. Now, this is in good times. You want to obviously, when things are not in a pressure situation, that's when you want to be applying for these lines of credit. So if you do $1 million of sales, you should have a line available for your business of at least $100,000, in my opinion. And you want to make sure that you set that up in the good times, so when negative events like a recession, you can access it without issue. That's how you prepare without panicking. So make sure you talk to your vendors. Talk to your bank, talk to your lenders. Various states are already offering mortgage deferrals. Banks like Bank of America recently announced deferrals that they're working through their own program, as did Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Now, one note of caution here, a deferral does not mean that you will not pay. All the deferral is doing is giving you a grace period of a couple months' time where you don't have to pay, but you will pay that back in the future along with your regularly scheduled payments. So at some point, it's actually going to be increasing on you if you defer those. But the key is make sure you make it to the other side. So if you need to reach out to defer payments to when your revenue comes back, by all means, do it. It makes sense. Go ahead and do it. I'm going to grab a sip here. My bubbly sparkling water. And this stuff has been helping me through this. I love it. I think you should try it. Anyway, okay, so this was kind of part one of what I'm going to be talking about. Part one was for business owners, the short nitty-gritty of what you need to know. Part two that I'm going to put together is for individuals, for retirees, and what's in this for you. Now, to help business owners during this trying time, I released a brand new free training. Now, odds are you're learning right now whether your business was built to withstand something like this, or where your vulnerabilities are. I'd encourage you to visit celestialwealthmanagement.com/bizowner bizowner-go, and register for my free training. In it, you'll learn the 5-step process that our successful business owner clients use when they're seeking to avoid unnecessary taxes, increase their net worth, and build a legacy. Those 5 steps can help you weather the storm and begin to set you up for a successful financial future. Just enter that link, put in your name and email address, and you'll immediately be given access to the 35-minute training. Don't wait. I think this could be the best 35 minutes that you spend on your business this year. All right, get clear, be clear, survive to the other side. Till next time, Colin Exelby signing off. See you later.
Thank you so much for watching my video. I want to be your source for financial planning strategies. I know there's tons of information out there. We're scouring Google, hoping to find information that's pertinent to our situation, but we never know. There's so much information out there now, and I want my team to be your resource. So make sure you subscribe here. Anytime there's a new video released, we want it to ping and let you know so you can check it out. Make sure you check out the blog, seetheforestthroughthetrees.com, a lifestyle blog that does a tremendous job of bringing curated content from not only us but other people. Thanks again for following us, and we look forward to seeing you again.